You need to remind yourself that you are so much more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for in this moment. And that is what you need to remember. That is what you need to shift to go from performing on your fucking social media to genuinely grounding into, why the fuck am I here? Who am I here to serve? What do they need to hear from me today? You're listening to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, a business and mindset coach who specializes in imposter syndrome. If you feel like you're not as smart, capable, or worthy as you actually are, and that someone is going to find you out, then you've come to the right place. I went from being a struggling government worker, working my coaching business on the side, but feeling unworthy and burnt out, to making multiple six figures helping women overcome imposter syndrome so they too can sign clients, make bank, and have the business or career of their dreams. I am nothing special. I have a stuttering disability, ADHD, and I struggle with anxiety and depression. So if I can learn how to feel good enough and overcome my inner imposter, then so can you. Let's dig in. Hey y'all, welcome back to the From Imposter to Empowered podcast. I'm your host, Jill Perrick, and I really wanted to drop this episode for you guys today because I have done multiple trainings, etc. with my clients on getting through an income dip or going through a particular season where things feel hard, right? And there is this unique thing that we have to do as online entrepreneurs, and that is to show up online, to show the fuck up online, and to sell our services. And this can feel really hard when you have things like anxiety, depression, when you're going through something difficult in your personal life, like grief or whatever it is, right? And beyond all of this, I know that there are a lot of people that are like, I didn't realize that it would essentially take me being an influencer to sell my work. Now, first and foremost, let me just tell you, you're not an influencer. Okay? You're not. If I did not have a business, I probably would not be posting online the way that I do. My personal Instagram is dead to the world. I never post on there, but when it comes to my social media, I understand that I have a personal brand and I don't treat it like an influencer, right? And you don't have to treat your social media like you're an influencer either. And that's actually not something that's going to position you as the expert, right? You think, oh, I have to show my coffee and I have to show all of these things. I have to basically document everything I'm doing each day. And it's like, that's not what is getting you paid, right? So you're not an influencer, you are a business. And this is where you need to get the fuck over the thoughts of, but what if somebody sees me selling? What if they think it's icky? What if they don't like me? Then they're not your person. They are not your ideal client, because the people who are looking for your work are the people who want to be sold to. The people who want to work with you and want to do the work that you provide, they are looking at your page. They're looking at your content. They're looking at your offers as a solution to their problem. The people who are just looking at it to get inspo or get entertainment, they'll probably never pay you. And if they keep watching, they will probably convince themselves that they need to pay you. Honestly, that has happened a lot. But they can't do that if you hold yourself back and tell yourself, I need to share another day in the life slide of these are all the things that I did and not sell my offer, right? And I want to talk about specifically this feeling of you feel like you're performing when you're trying to show up online. And it can feel very difficult and you feel like a fraud, especially if you're going through something difficult behind the scenes or if you're just feeling a lot of heavy emotions that day, right? I know for me, as somebody who has ADHD, who is an emotional generator, who has Scorpio as her fucking moon sign, you guys, I feel a lot of emotions. I feel them super deeply. So I get it. There are a lot of days where I'm like, I need to do my nervous system regulation. I need to do my tapping. I need to do my breath work. I need to do all the things I need to do so I can show up in my power and confidently every single day and say the things I need to say. If you're going through a hard season and you feel like a fraud, if you're doubting your client results, if you're doubting if you have what it takes, you need to see this as the greatest opportunity to not only strengthen your own resilience or show yourself what you're capable of, but also to show yourself that there is a beautiful opportunity here to strengthen your skill set as well. It's not just about your resilience. It's not just about, can I get through this? It's about, how can I use this experience to strengthen how I lead, how I sell, and how I show up for my clients? Through this hard thing, you can also ask yourself, what is this teaching me, and how is it going to be so relevant when I talk about it later? How am I going to be able to take pieces of this experience, of this difficult thing that I'm going through, and use it so I can inspire the clients that I want to work with, so I can actually inspire my current clients, right? Because something that has never gone away is the art of storytelling, and how storytelling and really being able to connect with your potential client is going to be the thing that leads them to buy from you, like one of the strongest things, right? Because it activates a different part in our brain than when we're just spewing information at them. When I have clients that specifically are coaches and a big piece of their work is around the emotional work, the spiritual work, the mindset work, what they really lean into and what I've seen them get the most results when it comes to their marketing is storytelling, because they're able to emotionally resonate with their ideal client. They're able to tap into the way that their potential client is thinking and feeling instead of trying to overload them with education, with information, with all this logic, right? That can work for my more business coaching clients or my service provider clients or my financial clients who have a more logical approach to how they help their clients. But my more mindset, spiritual, and manifestation girlies, they have to focus more on the storytelling side of things because they want to, again, emotionally resonate with their audience. So whenever I go through something difficult or whenever something happens inside of my business, with my personal life, whatever it is, not only do I use it as an opportunity to strengthen my own resilience, to strengthen the thought that I have to lean back into my work that I do and to really see it work, right? Like, it is amazing when I'm feeling an emotion that is anxiety or fear or sadness and I do my EFT tapping and I feel better afterwards. I'm like, this shit works. And it's just beautiful to see this work because I know that it just adds to my own integrity and my own ethics. I know that when I am immersed in this work, and I'm not saying that things have to be shitty for you to be a good coach, I'm not saying that at all, but what I am saying is that if you were a perfect fucking person that didn't have any hardship, adversity, or things that you had to work through, things you've had to overcome, things you've had to transcend, you would be boring as fuck. Okay? You would be. You'd be boring as fuck. Your content would be boring as fuck. That is your meal ticket. You and you alone. The things that you've transcended, what you know, what you believe, they are all a part of your journey. They are all a part of who you are. And a big piece of you signing clients into your offers is going to be you centralizing your own personal experience and how that makes you different. We're seeing a change in the online space, and that is that people are less trusting and they really need to see something different from the people that they are buying from, right? They're looking for that differentiating factor. They're looking for the reason why they should invest their money. And this is not a bad thing, right? Because there was a long time where people were like, pay to be in my fucking energy, and they could sell air and whatever, and somebody would drop thousands of dollars. I've never done that before. Just kidding, I totally have. But we're seeing that deeper need for trust. And the people that are going to get on Instagram once a fucking week or hardly have any content to look at, they're not having clients reach out to them because people want to be able to trust you. If they're not seeing you talk about the things that you're doing, if they don't have trust in you, why would they buy from you? And that means that we need to have patience with the way that we're marketing and the way that we're selling, because people are watching the way that we move. They're watching the way we move, and they are watching to see, is this bitch going to be here for the long run, right? And that's why I have a lot of recurring clients. That's why people can come to my page and see that, like, oh, like, I can trust her because I've been here this whole time. So coming back to our conversation on your own integrity, working through your own shit, it's all an opportunity for you to use, not only for yourself and your own journey, but also for you to strengthen your skill set and strengthen the things that you do that are going to be relatable to your potential clients and useful to them as well. And to know that as soon as you overcome this, as soon as you transcend this thing, this is just going to be something that you can add to your tool belt. It really can, especially as a coach with all the unique situations and stories that clients come to you with. You'll be able to be like, you know what, I have been through this exact thing, or I've seen this exact thing. Here's how I handled it, right? And you don't need to rush it. You don't need to get through this thing that you're experiencing, okay? Instead, use it as an opportunity to, again, transcend it, move through it, and see it as, I'm going to be so much stronger on the other side. Think about it this way. It's kind of like when you're driving a car in the middle of the night and there's a snowstorm. This is very niche for you if you live in a place where you have snow. But when you are driving in the middle of the night and it's dark and there aren't any headlights or anything around at all, there's no like street lights or anything, and it's snowing, sometimes in your own headlights, it's almost like you're going through a vortex because you can only see the snow coming at you in your headlights. So it feels like you're driving through a vortex and you have tunnel vision, right? Because it's dark. But just because it's dark, it doesn't mean that there isn't all this landscape and world around you. It doesn't mean that it's not there. And this is what you need to remind yourself of as you're going through the vortex of whatever this thing is that's happening for you. Whether it's something in your personal life, whether it's something in your business that's really rocking you, whether you're going through an income dip, whether it's been a couple of months since you've signed a client, a couple of weeks, whatever it looks like, okay? It's all normal. It's all okay. You just have to remember that because you are looking straight ahead and it seems like you're in the vortex, there is still something at the end of this tunnel. There is actually a reality where the sun is going to come up and you're going to be able to see all the beautiful trees and abundance and all the landscape that you've already covered, that you've already been through, right? And that is all around you, even if you can't see it right now. So this is to remind you that you have accomplished so much, you have done so much, you have all your education, you have all your experience, you have all this information that you've gleaned over the past however many years you've been doing this for. And I say that because a lot of us have come into the online space not blindly. Like, a lot of us have degrees, a lot of us have backgrounds that have led to this business and having this business. And you need to remind yourself of that even if you're going through something difficult, or even if you're going through a kind of lull, you feel like things are kind of stagnant, they're happening, and you're just kind of like, I don't have that in my business currently. You need to remind yourself that you are so much more powerful than you're giving yourself credit for in this moment. And that is what you need to remember. That is what you need to shift, to go from performing on your fucking social media to genuinely grounding into, why the fuck am I here? Who am I here to serve? What do they need to hear from me today? When I first started, I was so busy. I was working like 40 to 50 hours a week. I was still making time to show up on stories. And at that time, face-to-cam stories were super popular. You didn't have to do a ton for your actual posts. You usually just uploaded a photo of yourself and a caption. It used to be so easy. But for stories, though, they were a lot more active. It was a lot more face-to-cam, talking to the camera and going live. So I would get home from work. I would eat, feed my dog and my cat, and do everything I needed to do. And then I would go into the office that I had, which I actually had to give up to my sister when my childhood home burnt down and she had to come live with us for 7 months. But I would go into the office and I would record stories and talk to clients if I had an intensive or something like that. But instead of stressing out about, I need to say all these things, I need to do all these things, as I said in the last podcast episode, I would just focus on one thing. What is the one thing I wanted to say today? What is the one thing I wanted to talk about? What is the one thing that my people needed to hear from me? And not even my people, but the person that I'm talking to, the woman I'm talking to who desperately needs the work that I do. And the problem is, you're trying to be everything to everybody. You're trying to say the perfect thing. You're trying to be the perfect person. But your ideal client doesn't need you to be a perfect person. Your ideal client just needs you to be your fucking self. And it's so hard to be yourself when you're thinking about performing, when you're thinking about the fact that I'm not good enough, I'm a fraud, I'm an imposter because of what's happening to me behind the scenes. You need to slide yourself back into alignment. You need to get yourself back into integrity. Ask yourself, what are the things I'm saying online that I don't feel aligned with when it comes to how I'm acting or how things are going on behind the scenes? And work on that shit. Actually pay attention to it instead of ignoring it. As an imposter syndrome expert, you guys, as somebody who's been coaching on this shit for years and years, I can tell you this, I don't care how much money you're making. If these thoughts are coming up, it is because something is out of alignment, and this is something that I constantly have to check myself on, right? For example, I know the version of me that's making like 30 to 50K a month, she's not doing the same behavior with her phone as I was doing. And that is something that I had to admit. I probably would not be picking it up half as often as I was. And it's that whole dopamine thing, right? Having ADHD, there are just times in my cycle, because I'm not medicated at all, my attention span can be absolute shit sometimes. So it's just such a reflex for me to pick up my phone and check Instagram or check Threads or something like that. And I was like, you know what? I don't like how this feels. I don't like how often I'm doing this. So I put this app on my phone that really helps me check it less. I make sure that I'm doing my routine in the morning, not picking up my phone for at least an hour or two before I start my day. And the thing is, I didn't feel shame about this at all. I just shared that with you. It's just like, I just needed to assess my behavior and come back to that higher version of myself. I just needed to come back to that version of myself that would be making 30 to 50K a month. She would not be looking at her phone half as much. And I knew that. So I just needed to realign. And again, I don't have shame about it. All I have to do is realign to her. And the same thing happens for when anything is happening in my personal life or behind the scenes. It's how can I just realign? How can I realign to who I need to be? How can I deal with things behind the scenes and take care of myself? And know that this is just adding to my skill set. This is just adding to me being the perfect person for someone to hire, right? The second you start acting in alignment behind the scenes is the second you stop feeling like you need to perform in front of the scenes. when you actually are in alignment behind the scenes, when you feel like you're in integrity with what you're talking about, and when you give yourself grace, when you give yourself the opportunity to learn from the things that are happening and also add it to your tool belt in terms of like, you know what, I'm committed to overcoming this and to working through this. I'm going to do it in a way that would make me so proud of who I am. That way, when you overcome it, when you've transcended it, you're able to talk about it with your clients, have it be a learning lesson that you can talk about in your content, an amazing story that you can tell. Do you know how hard it was when I was in my income dip in 2022 and I was driving for Uber Eats? Like, I would get in my car and I would be crying all the way to the town that I was driving to, and it felt like shit. But I was like, you know what? I know that once I've healed from having to do this, once I've healed from my shame of doing this, I'm going to be able to tell the story so confidently, and people are going to be able to take something away from it. And people have. There have been multiple clients who have said, one of your stories that I really, really love and respect is the story about Uber Eats. I've literally had clients sign on with me who have referenced that story because it's not about me having an income dip. It's not about me driving for Uber Eats. If somebody had a lot of imposter syndrome, they probably would have never said that. They probably would have never told their story because they would be afraid that, oh my God, they saw I was in an income dip. They think I'm a fraud, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't give a fuck because I knew how useful it was going to be. And I also knew how it meant absolutely nothing about me. So wherever you are right now is a perfect opportunity for you to tap into your gifts, to tap into your magic, to tap into the things that you know are going to help you get right as rain again, and truly see this as an opportunity not only for you and your emotional resilience and for your own personal gain, but also for your skill set, also for the potential clients that are going to come into your space and the way that you're going to be able to coach them, the way that you're going to be able to service them because of this thing that you've worked through, because of the way that you led yourself during this time. And if imposter syndrome and self-doubt are constantly ravaging your brain, making it hard for you to show up authentically, making it hard for you to show up in integrity, and you want to have a place where you can do the mindset work, where you can master your emotions so they don't get in the way of running your business, and if you want to have a coach who supports you and empowers you, but also is going to be direct as fuck and tell you what you need to shift in your content and your sales strategy so you can sign high-ticket clients consistently, you're going to want to come into the From Imposter to Empowered program. This is my signature group mentorship container, specifically for coaches and service providers who struggle with thoughts and feelings of imposter syndrome, but know that they have something special to offer their clients and are ready to overcome this bullshit, to do the mindset work, to do the subconscious work, and get fucking paid for who they are. As soon as you join this group coaching program, not only do you get the 2 hot seat coaching calls a month, as well as 2 days in Telegram for Q&A each week, but you also get the amazing mindset and marketing curriculum, as well as my courses on money mindset, sales, content, and launching, and all of the subconscious resources, the subliminals, the meditations and visualizations, the EFT tapping sequences, the sleep tracks that you can use to reprogram your subconscious mind and regulate your nervous system. It would honestly take me a very long time to go through all the amazing things that you get inside of this group coaching program. So I think you just need to head over to the show notes and check out the sales page, and you can join directly there. You can also do the 2-week taster, which will get you 2 weeks inside of the program where you can get to dive deep into the Telegram channel. You get to see some of the content that's going to be inside there. You get to get coached on a hot seat coaching call, and that is only $397. And then if you decide to join this, you can use that $397 towards your first payment or pay in full. Okay, so if you want to chat about this, DM me at your Coach Jill. I also have spots open for private mentorship, or you can do my intensive for 2 weeks that is called Iconic. Okay, so there's lots of options to work with me. You can head to the link in my show notes or send me a DM at your Coach Jill. I love you guys so much. See you next week. Hey babe, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Screenshot it and put it on your stories and tag me at your Coach Jill. And if you really love me, you'll rate and review the podcast. And if you screenshot it before you submit the review and send it to me, I will send you a free gift on me. If you want to take this work deeper, come and work with me in the From Imposter to Empowered program or the Real Deal Mastermind. And finally, if you want just a snippet of my work to feel what it's like to be in my world, then you need to buy my best-selling book, You're Not Special, and you can get that on Amazon. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next week.